This episode of the Totally Rad Show is brought to you by the National Campaign Against Drunk Driving. Today on the show, curious about what else is happening this week? Well, let's find out in On My Radar.
Totally Rad Show, Totally Rad, Totally Rad Show, Totally Rad, Totally Rad Show, Totally Rad, Totally Rad Show, Totally Rad Show.
All right, everybody, we are back in On My Radar, where we take things that we may not be able to cover, something maybe that we have been getting into by ourselves, and be able to bring it up.
Something that's on our radar.
Something that's on our radar, as one would say. Daniel Trachtenberg, notable
radar specialist.
Radar specialist. What is blipping your?
I'll tell you what's been blipped.
What's pinging your
I was
smear?
telling you a little bit about it at Jeff's birthday party, and it is a movie I saw. We didn't get to see it on the show, called Insidious. It is from director James Wan. He did the first Saw movie and a couple movies I hadn't seen after that. But Insidious.
You saw Saw.
I saw Saw. And Insidious.
I gotta see Saw.
I made it a point to see because it is one of these, like Paranormal Activity and Saw, it was a very low budget movie that made a poop ton of money at the box office strictly from positive word of mouth. It did not look that way from the trailers. It's one of those movies, you know? Finally released on Blu-ray. It's out on Blu-ray. I highly recommend you see it. It is the scariest movie I have ever seen in my entire life.
You would call it Insidious.
It is not one of the scariest movies I've ever seen, so it's not up there with The Shining or Poltergeist or Exorcist
Orphanage?
or The Orphanage or
Any of them?
Candyman or It. You know, it is the scariest movie I've ever seen. Now, it strikes a very personal chord because the thing that scares me most in life is the idea of I'm like, you know, at home alone washing my face, and I look up in the mirror and there's like someone standing behind me, you know? Or like if you were to look out the window right now and there's just someone just like staring back at you and not saying anything, that would, right, like you give that look, that scares the crap out of me. Now this movie is way more than just that. It actually has a very unique haunted house
this
premise.
week where we're seeing Don't Be Afraid of the Dark, do you think that movie possibly could?
We'll see. I don't think so.
No?
That seems to be, like Insidious kind of has a very unique take on it. Don't Be Afraid of the Dark looks to have, and you'll hear our review, but it looks to have some CG effects. This is very light on the effects and more about the traditional scares and the traditional overbearing score. It's just a nasty movie. It's
nice.
Terrifying. I highly recommend it.
I
I watched it in the middle of the day. Literally terrified to move up. You know when you're a kid and you like your feet are hanging over the bed and you like suck them in? I'm on my couch in the middle of the day and I like make sure my like legs are all up in the couch. I make sure I have my dog come up on the couch with me. I mean, terrified.
You're willing to sacrifice your dog,
Yeah.
sir.
I was like, you're going first, Chloe. Anyway.
Oh, and the smaller of the dogs.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
So Insidious, good. I'm gonna have to check it out.
Oh yeah.
Jeffrey Cannata.
I'm going to be talking about a video game, actually a video game mod that's gotten a lot of attention lately. Several people tweeted me about it, but I actually started playing it because of Indie Jeff from Shack News, who comes on Weekend Confirmed a lot, recommended it, and we're going to be talking about it on Weekend Confirmed as well. But have you guys heard of the Stanley Parable? So it's a Half-Life 2 mod, but basically you don't even need Half-Life 2 to play it. All you need is the Source SDK. It's free. You can download it. Super free. Highly recommend it.
Super free.
It's free but with powers.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And it's a lot like what I love. One of the things I love about BioShock. The whole thing is you in relationship to a narrator, and you can't just play this mod once. You can play it through in about 20 minutes, half hour. But you'll want to play it 4 or 5 times because everything you can do has some outcome, and you can do what he says or not do what he says. And
What? Or is it third person?
it's
you're
first
walking
person.
around
It's a
the
first,
room?
You wake up. You're Stanley. You wake up.
Yeah.
At work, and Stanley woke up, and he decided to go and find out where everybody was. And you walk out the door, and you can either do what the dude is saying you're doing, because he kind of says it right before you do it, or you can sort of not do what he's saying you're doing, and then things get crazy. But there's
Interesting.
Many different
Yeah.
endings and many different paths you can take, and it's
break it?
very clever. I haven't been able to break it. There's parts where you think you broke it because they intentionally want you to think you broke it.
Amazing.
That's smart.
I don't want any spoilers. I don't give away any
Yeah.
spoilers. But let me just say, you can't just play it once. You definitely play it 3 or 4 times. Like I said, you can do it all in a sitting, and it's totally free. Very clever, very interesting.
Who made it? A bunch of kids?
Yeah, I think it's called like Bread Box or Crumb Bread or something. I'm
Crumb Bread.
I can't remember.
Bread
Crumb
Box sounded
Michael put it
better.
up right above me.
Bread Box
but
sounds
it's
a lot better.
yeah, it's a
Crumb Box.
fan-made mod. Yeah.
Love it.
The voiceover guy is great, whoever they got, and it's a really fun experience. What I love about video games, it needs to be interactive to enjoy it.
Interesting. So I just wanted to sort of chat with you guys about a very interesting expence that I had.
Oh God.
Which
Give
was
me the bear. Show me on the bear.
I will show you on the bear. I was gonna go see Rise of the Planet of the Apes because everybody's saying it's so great and all this stuff. And I was gonna go see it.
If only there was
Very
a show
excited.
people could tune into that would tell them whether
I
it's
know,
good
which
or
we
not.
may be touching it
Yeah,
in
hopefully.
fun places
Jeff
later.
stopped, restricting us from reviewing it.
So I was gonna
Jeff
go
didn't
on
hate it so
Saturday.
much.
I was gonna go on Saturday night to see Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
And Heather was going with my fiance, and we were gonna go on a double date with our friends. And emailed and said, "Hey, do you want to go see Rise of the Planet of the Apes?" And they emailed back and said, "Well, we were thinking about going to see this thing.
I know what you're gonna say. Yeah.
It's a zombie musical." And I was like,
What is?
Okay. So it is a musical version of the movie The Reanimator from 1985.
Okay.
Written and directed by the writer-director of The Reanimator in 1985, Steven something or other, like Steven Gilbert or something like
No.
that. Sean Gilbert?
No,
Starts with an S and a G.
no, yeah.
Did Space Trucker, so I was very happy to find that out on his
Yeah,
IMDb page. This
Cult classic.
this play was the most fun I've ever had seeing live theater in my life. There were 4 rows that was
And
considered
you saw
the
God of Carnage.
splatter zone. I did see God of Carnage, and it was considered the splatter zone. There were live
Like a
visual
Gallagher show?
effects. Oh my God, dude! There were people being disemboweled. There were dead
And that was
cats
just in the
being
audience,
thrown.
hey!
It was hysterically funny. So well done. The acting was amazing. Some of the people that were in it, I was like, these guys. How do I not know who these people are? And
Probably
we
'cause they're being
saw
disemboweled.
it. We saw it on the last day, and I hope that they're going to either do a bigger run. Somebody somewhere has to take this
What's it
somewhere.
called?
The Reanimator, the musical.
I want
It
to say
is-
it's Stanley Clark, but
No, I
yeah.
really think it's like Steven
No,
Gilbert or
it's
something.
Stewart. It's Stewart. It's
Stewart.
We should definitely spend more time.
I
worrying
know,
about this
I
right
know,
now.
I know. There's another movie he did that I love. It's freaking the
Bride-
guy.
Bride of the Reanimator.
Dude,
No.
And the funny thing is, it is literally like scene by scene, and it's such an economical stage. It's just a single door, and and there's one moment that blew my mind. Because it's very 80s, you know what I mean? So there's the after sex scene. So there's like the sex scene that happens. Everything's black, and then all of a sudden the stage lights come up, and there's a bed standing upright and 2 people in bed sitting there with the sheets on, like they're lying in bed. So it's like you get to see them.
Yeah.
It is freaking
Awesome.
genius.
I've seen that before, but yeah.
Well, not the way that they did it, because there was also blood.
That's
It was
He did
awesome.
He did Castle Freak also.
It's funny. I thought Mike was
Yeah.
looking it up, but I think he was just checking his email.
He's like,
doing
no,
the
I was
notation.
really, yeah.
All right.
But it was amazing, and if it ever comes out
that
ever
sounds cool.
again,
Are they-
it was so much fun.
It was the first time they'd ever done it. That's the first.
I think it was the first
inaugural
run.
production.
Yeah. I think it was the first run.
Gordon.
Stuart Gordon. We were all right.
Yep.
Anyway, well, cool. Well, I'm excited to play that. I'm excited to see that, and
Yeah.
hopefully you guys would be excited to see this if it
it
ever comes out.
happens,
Yes, that's what's on our radar. What up?
Hey, guess what? TRS will be live at PAX again this year. Come join us, won't you? You're not going to want to miss our live panel this Friday at 9 p.m. at the Raven Theater. We'll see you there.
All right, everybody, be sure to stick around for this day in rad history. But first, we want to thank our sponsor. We are sponsored by the National Campaign Against Drunk Driving. So just so you know, the police will be out in force nationwide from August 19th to September 5th in a nationwide effort to crack down on impaired driving. Don't put yourself or others in danger or risk the terrible legal repercussions. Drive sober or get pulled over. That is it. It's crazy how much drunk driving impacts us each year. Nearly 12,000 people die on our roads due to impaired driving. That would be equal to about 30 jumbo jets crashing each year.
Wow.
That would get a lot of frickin' headlines. Drunk driving costs every adult in this country an average of $500 a year. So $500 a year coming out of everybody's pocket just because of drunk driving. It is frustrating. Record numbers of state and local law enforcement and highway safety officials across the nation will be taking part, and they will be looking for drunk drivers day and night and making the roads safer for the rest of us. So do yourself a favor, drive sober or get pulled over. That is it. Thank you guys for watching. We will see you tomorrow.
Don't miss tomorrow for the return of Title Fight.
Today is August 23rd, and on this day in rad history, back in my favorite year, 1305.
Always talking about 1305.
You're always talking about the aught fives.
You're like, guys, if this was 1305, we would be having so much more fun.
There'd be so much less shotguns.
It's funny how back then, you know, when kids were mad at their parents, they would say, but Dad, it's the it's still the, I don't even know, the 1300s.
It's still the 1300s. Son, it just became the 1300s.
It's just so weird, you know, growing up, I remember my brother would say, Dad, it's the 80s. I grew up, I said, Dad, come on, Dad, it's the 90s. What do they say now?
They don't talk to their dads.
Anyway,
just
in
text them.
1305, you're wondering what happened in 1305. William Wallace was executed
Oh,
in
something.
London.
They can take his life, but they can't take his
I didn't know.
I think
Wizard of
Chewbacca was in
Oz.
there.
Yeah. And that was sent in by @DonFubar. Of course, we're talking
Oh,
about
that's Foobs.
the story that Braveheart depicted. Mel Gibson.
I think I made that
eloquent.
perfectly clear with my spot-on rendition.
Of Chewbacca doing the scene from
I
Braveheart.
don't know. Those kids who grew up not speaking to their dads grew up after this movie was released. 1305.